How's it going, my fellow parents? Hey, it is February 2026, and we are so honored to be in your lives. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for sharing positive reviews on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Thanks for watching on YouTube, and thanks for the over 150 countries that are listening to us right now. I mean, thank you so much for letting us be a positive support in your life. Hey, we haven't done this for about a year and a half, but today we're going to look at an episode. We're going to look into ways we can understand our kids and understand youth culture more than ever. We're looking at Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and we're going to share some stats with us. And as you hear some of these stats, you're going to be shaking your head up and down like, wow, all right, this feels good. I'm on a good path. I'm making some good choices. My family is in the right direction. And then there's other stats that all of us are going to hear, and we're going to shake our heads left to right. Like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with these kids? What is happening to this generation? How do I parent in a way so my kids do not become a stat? And Jordan and I are going to kind of take turns sharing these stats and then share a little storytelling over the stats that we will share.
Yeah, and of course, going through this episode, we were kind of trying to figure out how the best way to share these stats, because there's a lot of negative, there's a lot of positive. Do we stack them, one positive, one negative? Do we just give you the important stuff up front? So we're just going to tell it how it is. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we start off with that's going to make you probably feel a little maybe agitated, maybe annoyed, flustered, upset, right? That's how I was feeling when I was reading some of these. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I was just getting so angry. And then Sean did a good job with finding a bunch of really, really cool stats that I had no idea that were part of our youth today. And I was like, so we're going to end it with the cherry on top. That's what we decided to do. So the desserts at the end, and you're going to want to stick around for it, because it really makes you feel so much better about our youth when you hear the good stuff. In the beginning, you're going to be like, our youth is terrible. What a bunch of idiots. Why do we even have kids anymore? And then at the end, we're going to be like, no, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, really well said. Just kind of saying the same thing in a different way. We're going to share a few stats, and the first ones, they're kind of a little bit hard to hear, but you'll hear some really good stuff. So we're going to go through about 20 stats today, so let's just have some fun. So, all right, Jordan, get us started. What's our first thing that it's really important for us parents to understand about our kids?
All right, and this one was obviously kind of the new age, right? Especially with artificial intelligence and everything that comes with that. We're still trying to, I guess, diagnose, figure out how many of us are actually using AI, and I think it's just exploded. I mean, even higher than the internet use was when it first came out. So they say 1 in roughly 8 kids, right? So think older kids. Think anything from 12 to 21. We'll still consider 18 to 21 kids. Just, young adults, older children. They now turn to these AI chatbots. But they're doing it for so many different reasons, obviously. But one of the big ones was for mental health advice, dude. 1 in 8 kids go to AI for mental health advice. That's crazy.
It is. It is.
Although I should say I've been really sick recently, and I went to AI probably twice to try to self-diagnose what I had.
Yeah.
So, I get it. So if you have something going on mentally, you might say, hey, what do I do if I'm thinking this? And maybe it'll give, hopefully, some good advice back.
Right. Yeah, because it has so much knowledge. Here's a fun fact. Over the last, I think, 9 months, I've been pitched by 4 AI companies, and they want me to either do a podcast sponsor or do a post to pitch their AI product. And the product has to do with how some of them have to do with these filters that are going to go on our kids' computers so that the kids cannot access certain things on AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like having internet controls, but AI is controlling what AI will tell them.
Does that kind of make sense? That it's almost like what's happening with the internet. We give these kids unfiltered internet 15 years ago. No boundaries. They're looking at all this crazy stuff. No morals.
Yeah.
And now we're we have to catch up. And so now we're giving AI to 4th graders, and a lot of them are cheating using AI.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course.
I actually have a whole podcast episode what to do if your kid is using AI to cheat. You can look into that. And so I haven't moved forward with these because I say no to like 95% of the companies that, want us to pitch them, because I just don't want to. I want to know a company really well before we pitch it, and it's just still so unknown. All right, number 2 stat. Should I keep going? Is we want to keep we want to keep the pace going. All right, so this shouldn't surprise you. We've done a lot of research around kids and screens, and we're going to keep talking. We're going to keep pushing it. We're going to keep giving you tools. We're going to keep encouraging you. So, all right, here we're at. About half of U.S. teenagers, 12 through 17, report 4 hours or more of daily recreational screen time. All right, so do the math.
Okay, that's self-reporting.
Right. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like if I were to be like, hey, it's like your doctor asking you, like, how many times do you drink a week? And you're like, oh yeah, I just have like 2 glasses of wine, per week. And you're like, okay, you telling the truth, right? So it's like, it's like we're asking these kids, hey, how long are you on the phone? You're like, 4 hours a day. Like, okay.
So yeah, this is recreational, because the stats from like 13 years ago, when Time Magazine put it on their cover, was 9 hours a day of screen time. And they're like, it's been a well-known fact, 8 to 9 hours a day. So I was like, what do you mean by 4? So then it's 4 hours of recreational screen time. So not counting schoolwork. So about 22.8%, this is the CDC reports, is that 3 hours and a smaller share 2 hours or less. All right. So 3 to 2 hours. Okay. So I don't know. Did I mumble this? I probably did. Let me keep reading. Other surveys estimate that when all screen time is included, all right, so social media, gaming, videos, texting, browsing, teens average roughly 7+ hours per day in front of a screen, with many reporting 7 hours and 20 minutes or over 8 hours a day. All right, that's a lot.
All right, so here's what I want to break down for a second. What we're doing right now is we're creating a podcast virtually, because I'm on the other side of the country compared to where you are, and we're on a screen. Technically, we're on a screen.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Doing work.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd have to count that in, right? So like for these kids, a lot of them have to use screens for their schoolwork. You got to write research papers. You have to look stuff up, right? Yeah. I think that's understandable. In the real world, we all have to use screens. I think the thing we need to figure out how to reduce is the casual screen time on social, maybe on gaming, on some of the stuff that isn't really work related.
Well said. Here's what everyone should do right now. You should break out your phone, and while you're listening to this podcast, ask Google or Chat or Grok or whatever you use, when is my state going to a screen-free school? Or when is my state going to a phone-free schools? Because this is what I believe is the future of education, is the screen-free schools, where our kids are coming to school and they're learning using books, papers, and pens. That would be my ideal. But then what many schools are doing is what's called a phone-free school, so that they're just using their laptops that are blocked and they can't access Roadblocks or YouTube. And that is like unfortunately, and I guess fortunately, every state is different right now. But what do you think about that? Would you think that we should go back to phone-free schools or screen-free schools?
I think, if you've been to a comedy show, in, I guess, recently, where you have to check your phone in, and they put it into one of these locked containers. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because they don't want you, this was definitely big at COVID. They don't want you recording and then posting stuff. So you put your phone in these locked cases. You can hold it, but you literally cannot take your phone out until you leave, because they don't want you recording the content. Wow. So I think some schools are doing this. You go to the school, you check your phone in, and then you get it upon leaving the school. Yeah. Right? I think that's great, because then the school can control the content and the screens that are used at the school. If they want to use school laptops, that's fine. If you want to go the next step and do what you're doing and be like, okay, you're going to do a research paper, but you have to use the encyclopedia. We've got a whole library of encyclopedias over here. Yeah. Then you could do that, know, and then not use AI, not use Google, and not use these search engines, and just go old school. But I think the first method is going to be more applicable.
I would love to have like a panel on a podcast of a bunch of moms or a bunch of administrators from schools, and we can ask people what they're doing at their schools, the problems, what's working, what's not, because there are some problems with that. It's very expensive to get those locks, and then kids will lie and they'll say, I don't have my phone today. So what I think is happening to a lot of schools is that the kids are not allowed to bring it out at all during school hours or during lunch. And that is the key. Don't bring it out at all, and not at lunch. And then guess what happens when the kids do not have a screen at lunchtime? Guess what happens?
They like talk to each other and stuff.
Oh my gosh. All right. Stat number 3. About 20.
Stat number 3.
Yeah. 20. Oh, you got this one. Yeah.
20% of U.S. adolescents report symptoms of anxiety just in the past 2 weeks. That's really sad. All right. So about 20% of our youth have reported anxiety just within the last 2 weeks. All right. It's like 18% report symptoms of depression, which is actually a huge spike when you compare it to earlier generations. And this is another one that made my blood boil. I'm just like,
Okay.
oh my God, what are you anxious about now? Right? We're just like so worried about everything. It drives me crazy. But I think one of the reasons why Sean wanted to do this podcast is just to inform everybody listening, like this is what our youth is going through.
Yes.
In my mind, I'm trying to diagnose it and figure it out and be like, pick up your pants, like grab the bull by the horn, shut up. Like what's the nut up or shut up? Like just let's go, But instead of trying to fix it, which is where my mind wants to go, you're doing a great job of just being like, hey, here's the awareness of what the kids are feeling and what they're going through. And nearly 20% feeling anxious about whatever it is just in the past 2 weeks, that's obviously going to affect their mood.
I actually think you're doing a good job too, because I know that you were just kind of speaking off the cuff, and you were giving an example of like what many parents feel when they hear these stats. Just suck it up, let's keep going. But what the research actually shows us, everybody, is that attitude right there is actually a very helpful, positive way of helping your kid through some of these struggles. Like it's so much of it has to do with a parent saying, look, this is a normal part of life. Feeling anxious, having a hard time, and you've got to push through. You've got to make this happen. Like, trust me when I say that is very helpful. But just to echo what you just said also, saying the same thing in a different way, it's also like, hey, this is a part of being a kid, and this is a part of being a kid today. So the more we can help our kids through these anxious feelings or feelings of anxiety, the better, because like we're their helpers, so let's help them out in that. Now, stat number 4, nearly 25% of kids and teens show smartphone use patterns consistent with behavioral addictions. So what that means, reported by the UK Parliament, is that in their research, what they found is, hey, 25% of kids are showing that, hey, their relationship with their phones is like addiction. That's not cool.
I know. And it's sad. Like, I was just recently near some people who, like, we were at a get-together. And this one kid was on the couch, on their phone, not mingling. And it's like, it's not my kid, so I can't say, like, yo, dude, get off your phone.
Right.
And the parents won't say, like, hey, get up and let's play. Look at all of them playing. They're playing this new thing that they just got for Christmas or whatever. And they're just sitting on their phone. So this addictive piece of technology is overpowering. And it's like,
let your kids sit there.
We could just throw
Let
them
their
away.
kids be bored. Let their kids sit there and listen to the adults talk. Remember, if you have a problem with this, we talked about this last episode, go down to this beautiful thing called the library and let your kids check out 10 books. At our library, you can check out 10 books at a time and say, hey, if you're going to be bored at grandma and grandpa's house, here's some books. Yeah. All right. Let's keep it going.
Number 5. Children given a smartphone before age 12 are how many times more likely to have depression?
Looks like 1.3.
1.3 times more likely to have depression, 1.6 times more likely to sleep poorly, and 1.4 times more likely to be obese by the early adolescence. And that's compared to kids who don't have phones. So again, these are kids who have smartphones before the age 12. And you're saying we should actually keep kids away from smartphones until how old?
Well, I'm a big fan of what Jonathan Haidt wrote about in his book, The Anxious Generation, and he calls it the 4 new norms. Phone-free schools, more adventurous outside play, unsupervised by parents. That's number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3 is no phone before like high school, around 15. No smartphone around that high school, and then no social media on that phone. So only social media comes at the earliest at 16. And let's put some seatbelts on these things and let these kids be kids. That'd be good. So do that. This is what all the experts are saying. And if you don't do what the experts are saying, then the research is all there. It's not there. Like you're going against what the experts are saying. The experts say when you drive in a car, you should have a seatbelt on your kids. It's the law. You should do that. All right, number 6, children under age 5. Okay, wow, we're talking little kids now. Under age 5 who have 4+ hours of screen time per day. All right, so they're probably watching TV or on a tablet. Well, these children are 1.8 more time likely to show behavioral issues than those with less screen exposure. All right.
Have you noticed too, like if a kid has like been on a phone for a long time, he'll get up and like run around the house like crazy because he hasn't expelled any energy.
Totally,
right?
Man.
And it's like, oh, he's been stuck on a phone for the last hour.
Totally.
All right, topic number 7, high screen time in teens. Now we move it to teens. It's linked to not just mental health symptoms, but also, as we mentioned earlier, poor sleep, less physical activity, hence the obesity we were just talking about, and irregular routines. Showing screens affect whole body health, not just moods. That's straight out of the CDC. Obviously makes sense.
Yep. And back to more teenagers. We're almost done with some of these negative, harder to read, harder to understand stats. So hang tight. We're going to turn the corner and share some really, really positive things. Well, stat number 8 we want to share is about something that I shared similar in the above. All right, so The Guardian is reporting that almost half of U.S. adolescents, all right, that's a lot. Almost half of U.S. adolescents show signs of addictive mobile phone use. So what does that mean? Is that you're giving these kids these phones and they are reporting themselves, I feel like I have an addiction to this device, and this is then connected to a greater emotional risk. So you're going to have more emotional problems if you are addicted to a screen. Keep going, Jordan.
It's great that they have the awareness. In the next one, teens have the awareness. They believe that social media harms their health. That's the next step.
They do.
Yeah, so they believe this. Nearly half of the teenagers think it negatively affects their sleep. It negatively affects their productivity. Girls are far more likely than boys to see it harmful to confidence, so their confidence is shuttered. They know this, but the problem is the addictiveness that it comes, so it's like you can't turn it off.
Here's why I decided to keep all these stats in today's episode, and we have a few more. Here's what I want you to take away from this, parents, as you're listening to this. When your kids are really young, when you're walking in the parking lot of Target and Walmart, Costco, you have to hold their hands. You have to grip that hand because they're so easily distracted. They might run away. Don't you agree, Jordan? Good parents hold kids' hands because you have to protect them from themselves. What we've seen from these devices, from Roadblocks, from the Xbox, from the iPad, from the Switch, they cannot handle it, everybody. They cannot handle it. We have to protect them from themselves. Their brain is not developed enough to be able to. And when they say, Mom, Dad, please buy this for me. Mom, Dad, please, please, please. You have to realize that they most likely cannot do this. So if you do give them this device, you have to keep tabs on them. You have to make sure they're in a trusting relationship. Like Jordan, I think you talk about how your son is really doing well with his iPad, and he's in a really great position with it, right? And that's a great story. He gets a little bit of iPad time every day, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we got the iPad. The school has given the twins iPads, but it's for schoolwork only. Okay. We've actually gotten rid of the family iPad.
Oh yeah, you told me broke.
Yeah, it broke, and I'm like, I'm not fixing it. Not fixing it.
And are they doing well without it? Are they doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, they'll find something else to rot their brains with. But yeah, they're doing fine without it, too. They're doing just fine without it.
Right on,
I wish they would read more. I wish we would go to the library and get 11 books and have them read more. But I haven't been super strong into forcing them to sit down and read a dang book.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. All right, let's keep it going. I think we're at stat number 10.
What are we at?
Number 10.
10, that's you.
Oh, it's me. So, okay. About 1 in 5 teenagers report online or offline bullying as a main contributor to stress and mental health struggles, showing how peer dynamics still play a huge role in the well-being. If your kid has been a part of bullying, go into look at our previous episode that we did on bullying. It was so interesting, so good. And I think we have 2 on bullying.
The hard part about bullying is just like kids will be mean, right? And they'll say something and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting bullied, right? I have to like tell my kids on something like, listen, these are kids just being kids. They're not doing anything out of the ordinary.
Right.
Like if you got a situation where there's like an actual bully that you see in like a movie, like, okay, that's a different situation. But if you get kids just like being on the football field or the basketball court and they're just, not saying the nicest thing, that's just kids being kids. And we have to train our kids to like stand up for themselves,
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to come to your rescue every time. Like, just say something to them right there. Like, don't say that. I don't like it.
Yes. Gosh, you should all listen to that episode. We had an bullying expert on once. So we have 2 big episodes on bullying, and I learned so much for the research preparing for that episode. And that was one of the things you'll find in this episode is you going to the school administration and is probably not going to be very helpful towards that topic. There's other ways you've got to help your kids to address bullying, help them to bounce back from it, help them to decipher what it is, and to not give their power away. All right.
That's good.
We're at stat number 11.
All right, only about 20 to roughly 30% of kids and teens get the recommended 60 minutes of physical activity every day. This is one of the reasons why we bought a trampoline. Some people are like, you shouldn't get a trampoline because kids get hurt. Dude, I'm like, go jump on the dang trampoline for 30 minutes and they get a ton of energy out,
Dude, I just set up a trampoline like 2 weeks ago. We've had a trampoline for like 20 years, and we were like a year without one when we moved. Dude, trampolines are pretty cheap now too. Like trampolines are like they are,
and they're fun.
They're so dangerous. You're totally right. Somebody very likely might get really hurt or break a bone. And when if you have little kids out there and they're in that like 6 through 10 phase, you just know like someone's going to cry. So here's what the speech I give. Hey guys, if you're going to be jumping on this, there's 3 or 4 or 5 of you. I just want to let you know someone's going to get hurt. And if you get hurt, it's okay. You got to take a break. You got to bounce off. And if you keep getting hurt on the trampoline, it means you can't be on the trampoline, all right? You got to learn how to bounce with each other. You got to have fun out here. And if you can't figure this out, then you're coming off the trampoline. That is a great speech. That's the speech you give to kids on the trampoline versus, okay, be careful. Don't hurt each other. Look out, look out, look out. No. The speech is like, look, this is a crazy thing out here. You're going to be bouncing all around. You're going to get hurt eventually. So you got to figure this out. And if you can't figure this out, you're coming off my trampoline. That's how the family coach rolls with a trampoline.
That's great. But here's the reality. If your kids aren't in sports and you're in a 8-hour school day and you have PE maybe, but I don't know if you're actually doing 60 minutes of physical activity during PE. I don't know what PE is like these days. But think about this. You're at school for 6, 7, 8 hours. Then you come home and let's say you've got a bunch of homework.
Yeah.
Then it's like, time to get dinner ready. And it's like, the day's almost over. So it's like, I get it why it can be tough to get that physical activity in, but you got to do something. These kids have to do something.
They got to do something. Yeah, this is why we really got to keep PE going in the classes, in the schools. Like here in California, they take PE pretty seriously. Like we really need PE. I think it's such an important part of physical education.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. What are we on? What number are we on?
You're on 12.
Number 12. Is that me or you?
You.
All right. Sorry. Number 12. All right. Only 16 to 26% of fourth graders. Only 16 to 20% of all fourth graders meet the physical activity guidelines every single day. And 1 in 10 kids don't meet them any day of the week.
Yeah. That's the hard part. And then, of course, they're eating junk food all day.
So,
right?
Get your kids moving. If your kids are moving, you should be shaking your head up and down. Like, yes, okay, I got my kids moving. If they're not moving enough, get a trampoline, get them in sports, get them in martial arts, get moving as a family. All right. Stat number 13 is now, we made it, everybody. We made it through 24 minutes of tough stats, and now we're going to share 7 really
Positive stuff.
amazing positive things that are happening with our kids, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Jordan, get us going.
All right, so volunteering is common. We know it's beneficial. We look at our youth, about a third of children and over a half of teens reported.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Reported volunteering at least one time in the last year. And those who volunteer, we know, are significantly more likely to be in excellent health, to be flourishing, and less likely to have behavioral problems, which we know volunteering can help so much. The hard part sometimes is finding an avenue. But if you can find that avenue, I always see, we're part of, nonprofits, and the smiles you get on the volunteer's face is like, it's better for them than who they're helping. You know what I'm saying?
This is really, really amazing stat. This is great news about how kids are volunteering, and the more your kids are volunteering, they're seeing improved health, they're flourishing. What a great stat. Here's another great stat. Stat number 14. This research comes from this Act for Youth, and they report, listen to this, most teens feel connected to their families. That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
They feel connected. That's great.
86% of high school students report that their parents and other family adults mostly or always know where they are and who they're with. And what this reports is that it's a sign of strong family monitoring and connection.
That's sweet. I like that one.
Now, are they connected as in like someone's spying them on like
an
app?
You could go that way.
Or is it
say,
emotional
it's
connection?
creepy.
Right. What is this stat telling us here?
I think it's telling us that we feel a part of a family. You feel loved. You feel like someone cares about your well-being, wants to know where you are. Not like, I want to track you and make sure you're home by dinner or make sure you're not hanging out with Joe Dirt. Mm-hmm. I think it's more the positive side. That's how I'm going to take it.
Okay.
You can take it however you want. All right. What are we on? 15?
Yeah.
Higher family support means lower anxiety and depression.
Wow.
Okay, so
that's a great stat.
Okay. So going back to the family dynamic, they're already feeling like they're connected, which is great.
Yeah.
So the sense of this higher family support means we're taking those anxious kids and those depressed kids and lowering the amount that we have. Teens who report stronger family ties or support show significantly lower levels of both depression and anxiety symptoms compared to those with weaker family support.
That's
from
amazing.
Science Direct. So that makes sense.
That's an amazing stat. Higher family support means lower anxiety and depression. So it's like, keep it going. Keep it going, everybody.
They feel loved. They feel loved.
All right, stat number 16. How about this? This has been in the news a lot about what's happening with young kids and church and spiritual belief and religious activities. Many teens attend services regular. And when you think many teens, what number are y'all thinking? Well, this report out of the Pew Research Center is telling us that 44% of teens say that they attend religious services at least once a month, which is roughly the same as their parents. So that's almost half of teenagers are going to church about once a month at least.
Right. And maybe some of the older kids, like, 'cause especially when you get to teen years, sometimes they have their own teen services, you know? So it's almost like the responsibility's on the teen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so good kudos for them.
Yeah.
In addition to that, number 17 says religious teens often show healthy behaviors, right? And that makes sense. You can kind of see that. Research indicates teens reporting higher levels of religiousness tend to have higher levels of emotional and physical health, better coping skills, greater overall well-being compared to those with less religious peers. And that is from a Religious Studies Center.
We want our kids to get off screens. We want them to be around good people, doing good things. Well, stat number 18 tells us that faith involvement correlates with lower risk behaviors. All right, so multiple studies link adolescent religious involvement to lower levels of substance use and risky behavior. So that kind of makes sense. You want your kids off a screen. You want them to make healthy choices. We'll get them involved in a faith community. Now, Jordan, I shared our last two stats here. I'd like to make a point. I'm pretty blown away at these last two stats. I'm like
I was just gonna
really
say, this could
shocked.
be the biggest stat of the whole
These are
the whole chart.
this is, hopefully you've heard these stats in the news and before. This is a big deal, what you're about to hear. Stat number 19 and 20. This is very encouraging and very interesting. Tell us what stat number 19 is.
Teen drug, alcohol, and tobacco use is at an all-time record low. Think about that.
Yeah.
Teen drug, alcohol, and tobacco use is way down.
Yep.
Even though you got vape pens these days, it's still
Yep.
way down
Yep.
compared to the past several decades. High percentage of teens reporting no use of these substances at all in recent surveys. Large national surveys like Monitoring the Future, they have found higher abstinence rates than ever before for 8th, 10th, and 12th graders.
I mean,
That's crazy.
It's crazy. There's a lot of research. Let's go back the last 50 years. Kids today are not doing these risky things compared to any of the kids over the last 50 years. That's when you and I and even older people were growing up. They are not doing these things. Why do you think they're not doing them?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's more awareness about why it's bad. I mean, we had DARE as kids, right? DARE to keep kids off drugs. That didn't help that much.
It didn't. It didn't.
But I do know that it's causing so many problems. I have a friend who is in the alcohol industry, and it is shaking the whole alcohol industry to its core. They're having to change their whole business dynamic.
I think that's got to be a factor too. That adults, like I haven't drank alcohol for over 3 years. There's a lot of celebrities that are giving up on alcohol, so I think it's a fair assumption that one of the many reasons why kids are not drinking, doing drugs, or vaping as much is because their parents are maybe not doing them as much. I actually was in Napa a month ago, and I asked some people there, like, "Hey, what's the industry like?" I did some research, like, is the Napa Valley industry going down at all? And yes, the answer was yes, it is going down because people are drinking less wine than ever. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder what that's going to do to the whole industry. You know what? I don't know. It's a good thing. So whatever happens. But the fact that the kids aren't getting into that is great. The problem, though, I mean, you could argue like screen use is our generation's alcohol use.
I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah.
So and that is, I don't know.
They're
you could
not
argue that it's worse.
Right. They're not doing drugs and drinking because they're doing drugs in a different way. Right.
Right.
Hey, can I tell you something super edgy that I heard? I'm gonna butcher it, but I'm gonna tell you. Did you see what this well-known speaker, author, podcaster? I think his name is Scott Calloway. You've probably seen him. He's very famous. He's online a lot. He's on a lot of talk shows. Okay. Is his name Doctor? Let me look it up. I'm gonna butcher this. I should have been more prepared. Can I tell you
I'll
what?
Google it.
I can. Yeah. Can you?
Scott who?
I think it's Scott Calloway. Let me look it up.
What's he talking about?
He's talking about, I think he was maybe on he was on a talk show, maybe Conan or Jimmy, I don't know. And he was talking about, or maybe it was Bill Maher. I think he was on Bill Maher. Yeah. He was talking about his theory about why so many young people do not drink, do not do drugs. And he actually shared a very, very shocking, disturbing stat that a high percentage of young men aged 25 and younger have never asked a girl out on a date.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Oh, so is he saying like we need to drink more so that we're more edgy and that we can go out there and ask a girl out?
It was hilarious. That's exactly what he said. Here's what I think that we need more of. We need young men. They need to start drinking more. They need to go to a bar, have some drinks. I think because they're not drinking,
this is hilarious.
And they're not going to bar. Isn't it hilarious? They're not
on
drinking.
YouTube, note to men: drink more.
Read. Do you have the quote?
No, it's just on YouTube. I have to listen to it. But that is hilarious.
I got to Google this right now. Let's ask the computer. What did Scott Calloway say on the Bill Maher show about young men who do not ask girls out on dates and about how they should start drinking more?
Drink more. Get out of their parents' basement.
Is that what you have?
Let's hilarious.
See. Doctors, let's see what it says. On November 14, 2025, on an episode of HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, Scott Calloway addressed the crisis of social isolation of young men, noting a statistic that nearly half of men ages 18 through 24, half, you guys, have never asked a woman out in person. Oh, in person, okay? He advocated for them to engage in real-world social interactions with including controversial suggestions to drink more as a metaphor for taking social risk. He later talked about social isolation, fear of rejection, the drink more metaphor, the importance of relationships. Isn't that interesting?
Oh my gosh,
It's
it's kind of funny.
This is why people like this guy so much. He's so smart.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, who hadn't even thought about that, right? Like,
Dude, it is nerve-wracking, though. I'm just thinking, like, do you remember going up and trying to ask someone out for the first time? Dude, the butterflies you'd have, and you could feel rejection.
I know they're not doing it. They're not half.
know.
Half. This is very concerning. Half of young men have not asked a girl out. All right. And so what's our last number 20, number
you.
20 stat?
That's you.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Research shows a decline in the propensity towards risky behaviors
Oh, there it is.
overall
That's what you're just saying.
among adolescents. So we're celebrating that, but we're also looking at the other side of the coin, including things like drug experimentation compared with older generations. This suggests that teens today are less likely to engage in, really shady things, which we're celebrating, but we're also wondering what is going on here. You know what these young men need? They don't need more alcohol. That's for sure. Scott, that was bad advice. Here's what they need. Young men, they need older men to mentor them. They need them to somebody to teach them how to be a man, how to be a confident man, how to be a strong man, how to take the bull by the horns, how to have guts to go up to a girl, whether it be at a bar or at church or at your university or at Home Depot, and say, "Yo, girl, what's up? Can I get them digits?"
Yeah, right. And they're going to look at you like you're a freak.
No. What do you mean?
No,
I'm
they
being serious.
won't. I'm teasing. I know you are. I'm teasing.
Oh, you are? No. Can I get them
Yes.
digits?
It's just scary. Like, I remember doing that for the first time. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so hard.
It gets easier though as you get older.
It
doesn't
does. Yep. Keep trying.
Yeah, keep trying.
And then you failed miserably so many times that you're like, hey, what's the worst that can happen? Let me keep trying. And you just keep
because you
trying.
believe in yourself. Hey,
Uh-huh.
you know what? She may not like me, but that's okay. I'm likable. There's other girls out there. Maybe I'll get more comfortable. I'll improve in my university. I'll graduate. I'll become more desirable. Right? This is like the way people have thought since the beginning of mankind. It's about courting each other,
Right,
and
that's
about how to
exactly
make
right.
yourself more dateable. How to be better version of yourself as you get older. Right? This is what they need.
Yeah.
They don't need.
I think a lot of the stats that we read is a wake-up call to how our youth are dealing with life right now. And obviously it's a challenge to us parents, how to step up to the plate, to push them to ask someone out, to push them to do something physical, to get off that smart device, to go outside and play, right? Whatever it is, we're the parents. We gotta keep pushing our kids to be better, because obviously a lot of those stats you read, we're not doing good. The last couple were great, but there were several in there that we need to clean up.
I really like how you said that. You just totally changed the entire episode with those wise words. I don't know if everyone caught what Jordan just said. Instead of us having a whole episode looking at kids and blaming them or celebrating them, what you just said was brilliant. It was like, how do we do better here? How could we help them more? How can we improve as parents, protecting them, guiding them better than we did the last 15 years? What a great way to end our episode. Hey, if you enjoy this, please do us a favor. Go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a review. Leave us a few sentences about what you like about this show. It helps us to grow it, to reach more families like yourself, and to improve. Thanks so much for letting us be in your life. If you ever have any ideas of podcast episodes you'd like us to do, then write us, and we'll hear it. We'll write you back, and maybe we'll even pick your episode. Thanks for letting us be in your life. Much love.